So you just minted your first CNFT, you now have a crazy looking JPEG in your wallet, but now you realize, oh my gosh, I don't know how to sell this, I don't know the process of going through this, and I don't know how to make sure that I'm getting the best bang for my buck. Well, good news is, guys, is I'm about to explain to you exactly what I do in this video as far as where to list it, the different rarity tools you have to check, and how to really maximize the profit you're getting off of these drops. But without further ado though, guys, let's get into it. There's only a few things I do when I go to sell an NFT project, but this is something that can mean the difference of making a couple $100 or a couple $1,000. So the things that I'm about to tell you guys are very important, and I would listen carefully here. Number one, I am deciding whether or not I'm going to quick flip this or if I'm going to hold this for the long term before I even buy the project. For example, guys, Disco Solaris was coming out today. I made a decision that if I was able to get any of these, I would quick flip it. Why did I make that decision? Well, I don't think that their roadmap or their future utility is going to create more hype than the hype right now. Think about this. Like, NFTs are all about hype and how many people are actually buying them. If you have a roadmap that is adding a bunch of utility or a lot of cool stuff, then there might be more utility and demand and hype when that time comes around. And that means that might be worth holding as a long-term investment. Now, if I don't believe in their roadmap, or if I don't think their roadmap is super ambitious, then most of the hype is going to be right when they drop, when a lot of people FOMO and freak out and try to figure out what the true market value of the project is. So in this situation with Disco Solaris, I don't personally think their roadmap is that ambitious, and I think that the price is probably going to be at the highest it's going to be, at least in the short term. Now, things can happen, but I made a decision that I was going to quick flip this if I was able to get any of them. I personally think that the hype right now is going to be at its highest, is what I'm saying. Let's say that I was lucky enough to actually get one of these projects at 50 ADA and 6x my money. It didn't happen, but regardless, let's say we just got number 10,046. We're just going to go with this guy. Let's say I got this NFT. First thing I'm doing is I'm trying to establish its value off the rip. I know I'm going to quick sell this, but I need to figure out what's the value. Well, there's a couple things I look for. One is going to be the serial number. Two is going to be how rare the traits are. And three is going to be just genuinely how it looks. I've made a complete video on how to figure out the value of an NFT, so I'd make sure you check that out. I'll try to put that video in the description. Once I have this NFT though, I can see that this serial number is in the top 20%, which isn't too bad. Usually serial numbers give the most value if they're the top 500 or the top 5%, but this is at least one of the lower end serials. I'm now going to go to Cnft tools and I'm going to look up this project. Now, whenever they use that whole NFT maker website for their minter, which they did for this and was complete crap show, usually they have all of their rarities uploaded to Cnft tools right away. This isn't always going to be the case for all projects, but when it is the case, I'm making sure I go on here first. I was able to get number 1046. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to search assets over here. I'm going to type in 1046, hit go, and now I can see my dude over here. He is rarity rank 3906. There's like 5,700 of these, pretty much 5,557, I believe. So this is not very rare. It's kind of on the lower end of things, which isn't necessarily going to help the price a lot. Now what I'm going to do though is I'm going to look at all of the different traits that this dude has and see if there's anything that stands out or is super rare. The rarest thing that this dude has is his outerwear, which is a fancy shirt at a 2.64% rarity rate. So not even super rare, and that's why his rarity rank overall isn't that great. But now what I want to do is I want to check the trait floors or the lowest price for that specific attribute. So I'm looking on here. We have 270, 270, 290. We have a 295 over here. Keep scrolling down, 290. So it looks like the highest floor for something that has this dude's traits is 295, meaning that I'm probably not going to post this for anything less than 295 because that's kind of the floor for his rarest item. Now, what's really cool about this is I can take a deeper dive. For example, I know his fancy shirt is decently rare and it's saying the cheapest one is $295. Well, this specific one was $2.95. So maybe this one is the cheapest or the floor for that specific attribute. So I have to make sure that's not the case. So I see that this is outerwear and that it is fancy shirt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. I see that outerwear is right here. And now I'm going to click on that and I'm going to scroll down until I find fancy shirt. Now there's only 116 with fancy shirts. I then can go up here to the sort button. I can sort this by price, and I can see that yes, in fact, he is the cheapest for this specific trait, and the next cheapest is $3.35. Now in this situation, that isn't necessarily a huge spread or an opportunity to put a snipe in, but if this was a situation where this was $2.95 and the next runner up was, let's say, $700, then that would be a situation to snipe, and if I had listed this for $2.95, then I should be ashamed of myself because the floor for everything else is so much higher. This is why you have to pay attention, guys, and you have to take that additional step, because you could be posting this guy for $2.95 and the next cheapest with that attribute could be 600 ADA, and you could literally be leaving hundreds or even thousands of dollars off the table sometimes. In this situation, his serial isn't that great. His rarity rank isn't that great. He looked pretty meh to me. So in this situation, I don't blame the dude for listing it a good 35, 40 ADA lower than the other guys. He's just trying to take that profit in. Remember, this mint was only like 50 ADA, so the dude's making a good 5, 6x off of this drop today for each one that he got. And he might have been able to get 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them. You were able to do 5 transactions at one time. So in this situation where you already knew you were going to quick flip and you know that the price is so much higher than the mint price, this wouldn't be a bad situation to simply put it lower and go near the floor and take that profit, because you don't have anything that's special or stands out with this guy. Now, I usually like to check to see the different marketplaces and where I can get the most bang for my buck. But look here, guys, JPEG Store has 71% of the market share and SpaceBuds has 12%, and that's literally with only SpaceBuds on their website. So most of the time, you're going to get the best bang for your buck on JPEG Store simply because they have the most eyes and the most volume going into it, but I like to at least double check. For example, if I go to Disco Solaris right now, I can see that the floor on here is 245, which has been rapidly dropping. When I first made this video, the floor was 300. That's why it's good to, just take your profit sometimes when you're up this much, because it's just not going to be sustainable. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check on Cnft tools, and look, guys, I wasn't capping. They had a 300 ADA floor. Now I'm going to refresh this, and it's still a 300 ADA floor. You know what? None of these guys have sold, and there's only 16 listed. Do you know how many are listed, guys, if I go to Cnft tools? We have over 380 listed, which means that no one is using Cnft anymore, really. That is a pretty huge spread, and it just shows the dominance that JPEG Store has been having over Cnft tools. I've talked about JPEG Store a lot. I like it a lot better than Cnft, and I think that's why we're seeing so many people move to that platform. Regardless, though, it's important to do your due diligence and just make sure that there isn't an incredible variance when it comes to the price, because you might be able to sell it for a lot more on one platform versus the other, or potentially buy on one platform a lot cheaper than another. I'm just going to do one more example here for you guys to really nail this in. Let's scroll down, and I want to do one that has a low serial. Like this person, oh my God, this person has literally number 60. This could potentially be a snipe, guys, as I'm talking here. So, oh man, this son of a gun. So this was probably a snipe. We're going to go over this, and I'm going to tell you why this guy was probably ill-informed. And hopefully, if you're part of the block and you had this guy, hopefully you're not going to make this mistake again, because this is definitely someone that should watch this video, because they improperly evaluated their NFT. So look here, guys. We have Disco Solaris number 60. If I had gotten this person, this one looks pretty good. It has a lot of different purple and pink, which matches up decently well. And I see that it's serial number 60, which means that it's literally in like the top couple percent as far as serial numbers go. It's in the top 100 actually minted. So this is a big deal right off the rip. That serial number is a dead giveaway. And if you have a hard time basically putting a value on your NFTs, make sure you check out that video from me, because I go over this stuff a little bit more. But over here, guys, I got number 60. I type in 60 over here. I hit go, and now it is going to pull up that NFT that I just got. Now, rarity rank is 2688. That means it's about middle of the road, but nothing too special. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these different percentages over here and see if there's anything super rare. So it looks like the glasses is a 2.71%. It looks like the afro with bandana is about 2.34%. And it looks like this ZAFB 50,000 number random thing is 1.77%. Now I tried looking this up earlier, and trying to look at these different numbers is just a pain, so I'm not going to do it. But over here, guys, I can see the different floors for each of the different attributes. I am seeing that the highest thing is that 290 number. That has to do with that random number that I have no idea what it means. And we can also see that the other trait floor is 290 for the monocle glasses. Now, what's interesting is this was posted for 290, which means that there was a high chance that this was actually the lowest for that specific trait. So let's see here, guys. I want to look more into the monocle that has a floor of 290, and I also want to look a little bit more into the Badlands jacket, which is the outerwear. So I go over here. We need the glasses. So glasses down here, and we're going to look at the monocle. There's 119 with this, and I can sort by price, and it looks like there's a couple with 290 and then 315 is the next one. So there isn't a big disparity between the different NFTs that have this trait. So this isn't something that is going to blow my socks away when I'm looking for these different traits. Now, I also want to look at the outerwear and just make sure there isn't a huge difference in price. So we had the Badlands jacket. Let me see. Badlands jacket. Dude, I am tripping. Oh, there it is. So there's 365 that have this. And once again, guys, I mean, it isn't a huge price difference. So let's be honest, guys. She mid. She mid. She's got a mid rank of 2688, and you know, she doesn't look that crazy to me, and all of the different attributes and rarities she had didn't really have a great floor. Now, why do I still believe that this was a decent snipe? Well, it was the 60th ever made. And you know, you guys might be like, okay, how the heck am I really supposed to value stuff, right? Well, just realize that there's a lot of things that go into it, and you should check out that video of mine. But having a serial number in the top 100 is really rare, and people are willing to pay for that. You have to think like what people are willing to pay for. Like, they want something that looks cool. They want a low serial. They want something that has rare traits. They want to buy something that is good, has a good floor compared to the other ones that have the same trait. Like, these are all different things I look for. In this situation, I expect this one to probably sell for a lot more than 290. It'll probably sell for at least 400, and this would have been a pretty good snipe to get because they didn't take the time to really find the value in this specific NFT before posting it. I also want to bring up something here, guys. Look how much this floor is dropping. This person just listed this for 225. That is a lot lower than what the other ones have been listing for. I mean, look at this. We're from 250 to 248 to 230 to 225. They are starting to freak out, and the price is starting to drop a lot from that 300 just an hour ago. This is why you have to be careful about FOMOing and buying into these hype projects. Sometimes you have to take a step back and realize, holy crap, dude, I mean, this is 6 times higher than the public mint. Let me take some profit. And now it's just a total crap show. So this was a prime example of quickly checking out your rarity and posting it, even if it's lower than what it needs to be or lower than the comparables, just so you can lock in that profit. Another cool trick that I'm going to show you guys right now is the whole activity page. So you can see the different items here, and you can see that person who just wanted to quickly guarantee profits. That 225 one already sold, but you can look at the activity feed here and you can see how many people are buying or selling. So we had 3 within this last minute. We had 4 within the last 2 minutes. This is a lot of volume, and a lot of people are really purchasing this right now. So that means that a lot of mistakes are going to happen, and this is a prime example of when you can really get some snipes in. So make sure you check out that video of mine too, because you can literally make hundreds of dollars doing what I'm doing right now. But look here, 4 sold within that 7-minute time frame. And now they won't show you within the last over an hour. It'll just say like 1 hour. But look here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sell at the 57-minute mark. We had 1, 2, 3 sell at this 56-minute mark. We had another 3 sell at that 55-minute mark, right? So I'm paying attention to this, because if this number starts slowing down a lot and we're only seeing 1 a minute, if we're seeing only 1 every 2, 3 minutes, that means that volume is going down a lot, and that means things are going to be a lot less liquid. The less liquidity means the slower the sales are going to happen and the harder it is going to be to offload that NFT you have. So that's why it's really important, guys, that if you decided like you're going to quick flip this, you need to be on here right away, and you need to be checking out the market and seeing where the floor is going. Sometimes selling too quick can screw you and we see a huge pop off. I usually like waiting a good like 10-15 minutes to just see where prices are going, so I don't hurt myself if I thought this was only going to go for 100 and then it went for 300. But usually after that 5-10 minutes though, you know, we can see a pretty good place in the market. That pretty much sums up this selling guide though, guys. You really just have to develop that game plan, know whether you're going to sell it or not. If you're going to sell it quickly, you need to make sure that you're looking at it within the first 5 to 10 minutes, that it gets listed on JPEG Store. You then have to check the serial, the rarity, what it looks like, and compare it to other things that have similar rarities so you get a better idea of what the price is. And then lastly, you just compare different marketplaces. Most likely you're going to list on JPEG Store, and hopefully you can guarantee that profit. There's always going to be other things that come into play, such as volume going down a lot or activity slowing down, or there's going to be different things that come into play when it comes to certain attributes, might have different benefits, or maybe things come into play as like, hey man, this is 5-6 times higher than the mint price. This is a very great sell and a very great flip right now. So there's a lot of different variables, but I feel like this video covers most of what I go through in the whole selling process and really making sure that I have the right appropriate value for my NFT so I can make the most money from it. That sums up the video though, guys. If you learned something, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and follow my Twitter in the description. I hope everyone here has an awesome day, and please stop undervaluing your NFTs if you are part of the block is hot. But yeah, hope you guys have a good one.